Hey guys, welcome back to another Transparent Couch. I'm Cody.
And I'm Tam, and here on the Transparent Couch, it's not about where you're sitting,
but who's sitting with you.
Okay, guys, it has literally been about 7 or 8 months since we've done a Transparent Couch, which is a little embarrassing, just a little bit, but not at the same time because we have good reason.
Well, no. We filmed one.
We did
about a month or so before you gave, but it never got edited.
We sure did.
It never got edited.
Y'all, we did film a Transparent Couch, and we were talking about something we're going to talk about tonight. A huge blessing.
Yeah.
And what led up to it, and we never posted it. Life was really life, and I was in like the last month of the pregnancy.
It was a month. Yeah, it was a month before you gave birth,
and baby, life was life.
And it never got edited.
It never. Yeah, we were literally trying to prepare for a little guy to get here. So, and now he's here. Do y'all remember when we were doing the Transparent Couch talking about if we wanted more kids? Then we did a Transparent Couch talking about the fact that we were pregnant, and now he's here.
And then earlier than that, we did a Transparent Couch about having kids saved our marriage.
Yeah, we did. And now look at this.
Hey, bubbies.
You say hi? Okay, anyway, guys. So, we want to kind of talk to you. As you guys can see in the title, we're talking about the truth about what's been going on with us.
Yep.
The whole purpose of the Transparent Couch is to be transparent. So, we just kind of want to let you guys in on where we are, and and hopefully you guys can take something from it. We've had some comments in the past about people saying that we might be oversharing or, things like that. And I'll say this before we move into it. We use discretion. We use discernment, and we say what we hear God telling us to talk about. And at the end of the day, for someone else, we may be oversharing. For someone else, we may be sharing the exact thing they needed to hear.
Right.
And that's what that's all about for us, period. And so at the end of the day, if you don't like it, I hate to say it that way, but maybe this ain't the channel for you. So
maybe
I wanted to put that disclaimer out there because we're not going to hold back on what we feel God is telling us to say. Everything is not a secret. Marriages have their ups and downs, and that's that. And even if we're not talking about marriage related stuff, sometimes we're just talking about life.
Right.
And life has its ups and downs. Mm-hmm. And how are other people supposed to heal if they can't hear the testimony of others? Okay. Don't get me to starting right now. Right now.
You are victorious or made free, whichever way the scriptures say. By what? It's by two things.
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. Is it the something of your testimony?
Mm-hmm. That's the second part.
I don't know what the first one is.
The blood of the Lamb.
The blood of the Lamb, yes.
And the word of your testimony.
Shall overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Everyone overcome. Okay, anyway. We are so random. Anyway, by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, everyone. Y'all give a round of applause to our baby because look how good he's sitting.
Yeah.
Say, I just thank a man. You guys pacifier?
Nope.
Say, yeah. I saw it because I know at some point he's gonna want it. Oh, it's right here in my face. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. So the last time we spoke to you all, Bert Clough, the last time we spoke to you all, to be honest, I don't know what we were talking about, but I'm sure it had something to do with the roughness of the pregnancy because that was just pretty much our life at the time.
Was it? No.
I think I talked about how God healed me. No, that was on my channel.
Yeah, that was on your
channel. I don't know, y'all. I'm not even going to sit up here and lie like I remember.
These videos run together.
They all run together.
So,
but we'll start from the birth of the baby.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Well, before the birth of the baby, the huge testimony. So Cody and I had a real conversation because at the end of the day, we understood that, first of all, we're in a huge inflation right now. Okay. And we understood that bringing in another child into this world meant we were going to need more finances. We were already in the place where Yes, Cody had gotten promoted probably a year before this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we were excited about that. Meant more money. We were able to do a little bit more, expand a little bit more, but it still just didn't feel like enough, because as soon as he got the promotion, it was like that's when inflation like really and ballooned, if you will.
Yeah.
And we had to have a hard conversation. And my husband, being who he is, was trying to figure out a way to hustle and figure it out. Like, he was like, do I need to take on more clients with Cody Palm Media? Like, I need to be editing more videos. And I had to keep it real with him. And do you want to share what I said?
Yeah, well, and I want to add just a quick disclaimer to why we even had to have the conversation. So for all of my corporate America people that are out there, y'all know it's difficult to find a space in a company to where you literally get along with everyone you work with, like your team, your management, their management. We're talking all the way up to president. Like, you get along with everyone, and they value you, they appreciate you and the work you do. That's really hard to come by. And the money was decent.
Yeah.
You know, we were able to pay all our bills. So I didn't want to go to another department or even remotely do that. And that's why we had to have the conversation, because I'm trying to come up with these business ideas. And y'all, I think I watched every single YouTube video on whether it was drop shipping, which I never actually jumped out and tried that because it scared me just a little too much. But I like created coloring books on and put them on Amazon. Like, I was about to try so many different things. And Tam, being the honest person she was like, hey, you already deal with ADHD. So your mind is already in a million places at once. And if you keep adding things to your plate, balls are going to drop, and we can't afford stuff to drop right now. And initially I got offended. Now, I didn't show it in the moment, but I was like, you attacking me. Like, you coming at me sideways. Like, what do you mean I can't do X, Y, and Z? Like, you know who I am? Like, those are the thoughts that
I am.
Those are the thoughts that are, show them who you are. No, there's a lot of those thoughts were coming in my head. And after maybe an hour, I would say an hour or so, I sat with it and I was like, well, is she telling, like, is it true? Because sometimes you gotta, sit and ask yourself that. Is it true? Is it something that, like, she's just looking out for you as your partner, not somebody that's an enemy trying to attack you and try to make you not confident in who you are, but somebody who has your best interest at hand is looking out for you. And I came to the conclusion, as hard as it was, she looking out for me. So if you want to make more money, your best bet is to apply for another department, because I'm not getting a second job. Cody Paul Media is a second job by itself, so I don't have time for that. So literally 2 days after we had that conversation, a old coworker of mine that was somewhat like a leader, she was kind of like the lead on the team I was on at the time, sent me a job that opened on her team and said, hey, Cody, I feel like you'd be good for this. And it was something I would not have applied for if I saw it myself based on the description, because I didn't think I necessarily met the qualifications. But long story short, applied, sent resume, interviewed, and got the job. And it was a significant jump.
Yeah. A significant jump. And do you mind if I take it from here?
No, I don't mind.
It was a significant jump. So much so that it scared me. It scared me because I'm like, whoa, we ain't seen this type of money before. So
it scares me every time I clock in. I'm still getting used to it.
Because he's also salary. So it's different. It's different. And
world,
God had already spoke to us. We got a couple of prophecies kind of confirming what we knew. We felt God was getting ready to do something big, but we didn't know what. And we knew it had something to do with our finances, because we are givers, we're tithers. We do what we hear God saying do. And we've grown to be better stewards over our finances. I remember my dad specifically told us that, like, y'all have to remember to be good stewards over your finances. And so, man, that happened. And shortly after that, maybe 2-3 months of you being into the job, baby boy was born.
Yeah.
And the crazy part was, it was amazing because Cody was able to get 6 weeks of paternity leave. And it was amazing.
And I thought as a guy, I'd want to leave and get up and go to work. And I did not touch that computer the whole time I was off.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was wonderful.
It was beautiful.
But in the midst of all that, y'all, and this is where you begin to understand that just because God is expanding you and creating blessings doesn't mean there's still not going to be a test within the testimony. And so our marriage began to be challenged. Now, we reached year 10 about a month before he was born.
Almost exactly.
Almost, because our anniversary is September 21st. He was born October 23rd.
Yep.
And so, man, leading up to literally when we went on out of town for
and I got the job a month before our anniversary.
Oh, wow. So there's that.
Yeah.
Leading up to our anniversary, Cody and I were having so many issues, and they mainly were centered around the C word, communication. And we never thought we struggled with that because we usually talk out things, but it wasn't about talking to each other. See, sometimes people misunderstand what communication is. It has multiple layers to it and multiple parts to it. It's not just having a conversation.
Right.
It's how you communicate. It is your tone when you communicate. It's your body language. It is understanding each other and how they receive information. And so I remember the night that we arrived into town. It was the day before we left to go spend our anniversary. We had gotten into town because my mom was and my parents were keeping the boys. And we had a blow up. It was bad. I had like an anxiety attack. Like, it was a whole situation. And it was based upon communication and expectations of each other. And, a lot of times we blame the enemy for dysfunction, which he's the author of confusion. So don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's not the enemy. Sometimes it's your mindset. Sometimes it's triggers that you have. Sometimes you have traumatic experiences that bubble up and come to the surface when you have to communicate with those you love or those you're in relationship with, whether it be a professional relationship or a personal relationship. And what I came to realize was that I was telling myself lies about how my husband felt about me based upon his actions. And he was perceiving things that I was saying and assuming that I was out to get him based upon his past and based upon situations where he felt like he wasn't good enough or that he had to prove himself. And so we had to break down those barriers. We even had a couple of counseling sessions with my therapist. We had to break those barriers down, and we're still breaking it down. We're still having moments. We're still having our days. But in the midst of that, we went on a date. I want to say we went on a date when he was I think Kylan was about 3 weeks old. My mom was still in town, and she was getting ready to leave to go back. She ended up coming back because some other stuff happened. Yeah. But she was getting ready to go back after being with us for about a month. And we went on a date. And the waitress was super sweet. We're talking to her, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, y'all are such a cute couple, blah, blah, blah." And then she asks us how long we've been together. We told her 10 years. Told her we had just celebrated 10 years. And she was like, "Whoa, really?" I was like, "Yeah."
Was that married for 10, together for 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is what we told her.
Yeah.
She said, what's the secret? Like, how do you guys stay together? And I looked at her, and it just came to me.
And this is so true.
I looked at her and I said, "We just stay together." And she was like, wow. I said, I said, we literally stay together. I said, a lot of people don't fight to stay together. Things come up. I said, we make it our mission that no matter what comes up, we're going to fight to stay together.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. All right. Yeah. You getting on my nerves right now. I don't even want you next to me right now, but you're my husband. I'm your wife, and we going to make this work.
Yeah.
And so with everything that we've had going on, y'all, it's been very, very difficult. And that is part of the reason why we haven't done Transparent Couches. We've been trying to keep up with the vlog. Cody wanted to do Vlogmas this year. So I was like, babe, that might be too much. She said, no, we'll do it. We do it. And we did it. However,
we still got to post the last one. And we still have the 10th of January.
We still have the last one to post. I think we're just going to post it as a vlog.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
But it's been a lot. And in the midst of that, y'all, the transition itself to being parents of 2 to now parents of 3, and them being so far apart in age. They're all 3 of them are interested in different things. He's interested in breast milk. Kylan is interested, not Kylan, Lord. Carson is interested in other things, and his brother, he's older. He's definitely not interested in the same thing. They have some common interest, but for the most part, they're on 2 different wavelengths now. And so we're dealing with that on top of, we're in the place where now we're looking like, okay, we need to purchase a home. We are in a bigger apartment. The apartment is humongous. However, we're ready to be homeowners. You know what I'm saying? We need a newer vehicle. Like, we have all these things. And we're like, okay, Lord. Okay. So battling that on top of me, just with mood swings and my hormones kind of getting back regulated. You know, people don't understand that giving birth is like a near-death experience. And I don't think people understand that. It's literally a near-death experience. The amount of pain, just everything that we go through. And your body is out of whack. And the world, this nation, because not every country is like this, expect mothers to just bounce back after 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
Maybe it takes a year, 2 years. Okay. And if you do your research, it takes several years for a woman to get back to their norm, because that's a huge life-changing thing that's happening. And so with that being said, we've been challenged. But the thing I have to say that has helped for us is prayer, humbling ourselves. So I'd like to think that I'm a pretty humble person. But when it comes to this, I've had to humble myself more than I realized, being fully transparent with you guys, because I see it as, oh yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I won that argument. It's not about who won, who lost. You know what I'm saying? It's not about that. It's, did I get the point across effectively for my husband to understand what I'm feeling? And did he leave the conversation feeling like I validated his feelings? Does he leave the conversation feeling like I still love him and I care about what he feels? Did he leave the conversation feeling built up instead of torn down? These are all the things I have to think about. That's how I win, if you will. And I've had to be humbled in a lot of situations where he's coming at me about how he feels about something. I want to be like, well, that's not how I meant it. And that's not true. The very things that I get onto him about doing to me, I'm doing it. And I'm like, whoa, I have to take a step back and go, wait, Tamara, you're literally like, pipe down, sis, pipe down and listen. So that's kind of been my biggest lesson. I want to know what your biggest lesson has been, but that's kind of been my biggest lesson. It's humility. Because I thought that I was humble. And overall, I am naturally a humble person. That's just my personality. But when it comes to this, I had to be humbled even the more. And pride took root in some areas that I didn't know that I was dealing with pride, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Well, 2 things. So the first thing, and I actually said this to a friend of ours, because they were asking about marriage, because they were going through, her and her husband were going through a tough season, and the thing I told her is the thing I realized through this is seasons are seasonal. And I know that sounds simple, but a lot of times when we're going through a hard time, whether it's personal or it's relational or whatever, in our job or whatever, it's easy to get caught up in the thought that this is just what it's going to be. And that's not the case. Like you stay there long enough, seasons are seasonal. And a lot of times you just got to realize that this is a season right now. And the same way a season comes is the same way it goes. And as long as you ride it out the right way, you'll be okay. The second thing is, and this goes back to the job thing. To go back to what happened, the lady that reached out to me to not offer it to me, but to refer me for the job. That was when I was in more entry level type position at the company. That was like my second year in the company. And I just wanted to, I felt the need to tell you all that are watching that your work ethic in the beginning matters, because you don't know how God's going to use those connections later. Because it was God pulling that connection back up. Because this wasn't a person I talked to on a regular. I do have coworkers that we came into the company together and we moved around pretty much together. And I keep in touch with them. It's really a person I'd call my work mom, but we pretty much talk every week. But the lady that reached out to me, we hadn't talked in like 6 months. And she saw the position came open. I was the first person she thought of. So your work ethic and the way you carry yourself, even in the entry level parts of whatever you're doing, matters. Even if you're just now starting your business and you think you're a little like rinky dink company. No, carry yourself like you're a Fortune 500, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who sees that. Hey, Bubba, because you're watching. Yeah. Hey, Bubba's. Sorry, I can't help myself. But that's really.
I was going to ask you, what did you, from everything we've been going through, like, what's the takeaway that you've gotten from just the trials of the stuff we've been dealing with?
Seasons are seasonal.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, seasons are seasonal. Because again, it's easy to. I'll say this. Tam and I in previous seasons, now this is more the good seasons than the bad ones, have made mistakes thinking a season was a permanent place.
My Lord.
And so you can't even do that in the good seasons. You just have to realize that seasons are seasonal. And the same way that I keep getting these people confused. Joseph was a coat of many colors, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know. I get him and Joshua. I guess it's J names. I get them confused. But the same way Joseph had the wisdom to gather in a surplus so they would have it in a famine is the same way we need to approach these seasons of life we're in. It's like, just because you hit a good season don't mean, okay, I'm making all this money, I'm a splurge, and the Lord, like, I'm gonna need for you to save some of that. Because you probably gonna hit a season, or there is a season coming where you're gonna need that. And I'm giving you this now to prepare you for that. Or I'm not giving you this money now so you can splurge. I'm giving you this money now because somebody else needs it, and I'm using you as a conduit to give to them. Mm-hmm. So anyway, those are my main takeaways.
So
wait, Kai, what's your main takeaway? You want to say something? Kai, what's your main takeaway? Say dada.
Really?
He trying to say dada.
Say no, I'm not interested.
Okay, I tried.
If it's not breast milk, I don't care. If it's not my toes or my fingers, I don't care.
I genuinely believe he said milk the other day. Kai, say milk.
And he spit up on you.
Yep, he knows. Kai, say milk.
Anyway, guys, tangents. I tell them about them tangents. Anyway,
I get caught up. Anyway,
yes, you do.
So do you.
So, not like you. I'm not even. No, we're not even gonna do that. No. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. We're excited to get back started with these transparent couches.
Whoop, whoop.
If you like the conversation, make sure you hit that like button. Comment below. Let us know some topics you want us to discuss.
Please.
And we'll see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.
Bye.